Hello and welcome. My name is Meepolis, she, they, and this is Literally Graphic. And today I am rereading and re-reviewing the zine anthology, The Book of Boy Trouble, edited by Robert Kirby and David Kelly. The stories were written at many different times, but this particular collection was put together in 2006 and published by Green Candy Press. Content notes for age gap, nudity, sex, needles, drug use, racism, and Orientalism. As I already noted, this is a reread for me, and besides making a video on it, I also wanted to revisit this book because the first time I read it, I was deconstructing from my rather homophobic upbringing and coming to terms with my own gender and sexuality. Obviously, anthologies can be a mixed bag, and while it feels a bit odd to criticize what largely appears to be personal narratives, I would say that several of the stories felt like they hadn't aged well, if they were in fact ever really good. Namely, Aquila Noche by Jamie Cortez and Dinner at Achmed's by Andy Hartzell. Although the former might have been written deliberately to make your skin crawl, there was also a lot of pretty fun and delightful moments as well that I certainly had more mental space to enjoy. What kinds of keywords came to mind? Self-discovery, coming of age, pleasure, heartbreak, body hair, first love, irreverence, and playful. The official Goodreads description is as follows, quote, "The Book of Boy Trouble compiles the greatest hits from the zine's first 10 years, including favorites like Michael Fahy's Valentine's Day love poem, Andy Hartzell's Dinner at Achmed's, and Anonymous Boy's The Non-Adventures of Wayne, plus 24 pages of spanking new work from both regular contributors and up-and-coming talents," end quote. Which I guess does clarify a bit how Kirby and Kelly feel about Dinner at Achmed's. Talking about the wording and the art, coming from the zine side of things, there's a lot of variety from the very rough to fairly polished. Most importantly, though, I found all of the art to be very expressive, and all the text was extremely readable. So I was happy. Looking at representation, obviously gender and sexuality was a bit one note, but obviously the focus of this project was to highlight the lives of gay men, although it does appear as if we have skipped over the trans experience once again. Racial representation was not a total monolith, but the white perspective felt fairly central to most of it, with most of the people of color being secondary characters. Expanding a bit on some of my earlier notes, I thought that Dinner at Achmed seemed largely to be some sort of oriental fantasy dependent on racial stereotypes. Plus, did see some representation, but once again, ability versus disability felt completely papered over. To conclude, this collection did remind me a bit of On Loving Women, although the Book of Boy Trouble definitely had more variety and the characters involved seemed generally older, which I could appreciate. I had originally rated this book 3 out of 5 stars, and I think I'm going to stick with that because I did feel like it did better than On Loving Women, which I did rate 2 out of 5 stars. Bye y'all, keep reading and resist white supremacy. And as always, Literally Graphic is created on land that should be given back to the traditional landholders, which in this case is, to my knowledge, the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation, non-Anishinaabe people, the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, and the Huron-Wendat Nation.